We were off air that whole time.
You do know I recorded all of that on my backup recording, right?
Oh, okay. So at least you got it on the backup recording. I'm like, you don't have that on air, and I was actually sounding like a goat.
We will have that in the actual intro when the audio podcast starts. You'll have the "No, not the big green button" audio. It's going to be fantastic.
Not the big green button. No.
Just like that. So those of you watching on video, you finally got the preview. That's our cold intro this week. Is not the big green button. I love it. So
the big green button is scary.
It is very scary. Welcome everyone to episode 156. Holy crap! Jesus. Of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast, recorded live on April 26th, 2015. You got just the two of us today. It's me and Naki.
The original two. Woo!
The original two.
Freeze frame.
No, don't freeze frame. I don't like being on camera. I just make exceptions for this because it makes for a better viewing experience. She's still frozen. I love it.
I'm not.
Damn.
Because I have a new computer, guys.
I was thinking, I'm like, didn't she just get a new computer? How the hell is it already freezing on her?
Be terrified of actually gaming and stuff. Like I built a desktop. It's real. I'm not on a laptop anymore.
It's real, and her 23-inch monitor makes my face look huge. I heard in the pre-show reel. So
27.
I was 27.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. I do not have screens that big on my desk.
I shouldn't have screens this big on my desk.
Well, it makes it nice for doing, I don't know, podcast editing and video editing.
Yeah. Maybe.
Hint. No, joking.
Maybe. Or... Look, behind you. Bye.
That's a Captain America poster behind me. Oh, she's gone. I'm by myself. This is the long-awaited solo cast. So I'm going to sing 100 bottles of beer on the wall, and then we're going to call it a day.
No.
See? Like how that happened to get her back?
No.
So
we'll lose all 6 subscribers that we have.
We got a few more than 6. I'll be honest. It's like 7. Actually, we have 50 subscribers because this goes out on the Gonna Geek channel. So between us and Sebastian, who've been doing it the longest on here, now almost everyone on the network, well, a lot of people on the network, let me rephrase, are live streaming on Google Hangouts, their podcasts. I know Starling Tribune's doing it, Walking the Walking Dead, Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. So we're starting to get into this live stuff.
Yeah, but we were the first. They're all copycats.
We're the first on the network, which is fun, but it's kind of fun to watch some people get used to doing live because they kind of forget, oh yeah, edit? We don't do that. We don't have to do that. We're on the air right now. I said something boneheaded. Oops, I'm just going to live with it.
That's how I got stuck with kids are tiny little Hitlers.
And many other quotes, I would assume.
And Ryan Reynolds is Batman. And
well, no, that wasn't because of being on air. That was, we just let you keep going with it. And for those that weren't familiar, let's go back in the ATGN history of about a year and a half ago.
I'm going to eat peanuts while you tell this story. And make faces at you.
You do know we can hear your peanuts rattling as you eat since you're on a condenser mic. So, a little bit of backstory on the Ryan Reynolds story is it was, I don't know, what, June? And this is before the Man of Steel stuff came out, and Naki was going, I'm just really mad they're going to make Ryan Reynolds be Batman. And I think you Anaheim at the time were like, what is she talking about? And I remember going on Google and I go, Ryan Reynolds plus Batman. And I get like 6 news stories that pop up. All 6 of them dated April 1st. And what was entertaining is Naki's getting progressively more pissed off about Ryan Reynolds being Batman. And as she's about to go to finish up the spiel, I go, hey, you do know that's from April 1st, right? And I thought you were going to murder me, I'll be honest. I think you might murder me now.
It's a very slow-acting poison.
So a little backstory for those that might have missed it is we bid on an April Fool's joke like 3 months after April Fool's. It was awesome. And that is probably why we have such a dislike for April Fool's news stories now.
Fuck April Fool's Day.
Yes, seriously. But we do know Naki was gone last week. We know you went out to Star Wars Celebration at least a little bit of that time. How was your little trip out to the left coast?
A little bit of that time, yeah. That's pushing it.
Hey, you were on vacation. You don't have to go to that the whole time.
That was my thoughts exactly. And don't get me wrong, it was a very nice convention. It was too full for my liking, and I've just come to realize that if I'm not working a convention, I really have no idea what to do. So, besides, apparently you do a lot of line standing and spending money, and I wasn't really interested in that.
Yeah,
But
that's
we
about
did,
how it was for me.
yeah. We did go and watch the Ray Park panel, which, if you don't know who Ray Park was, he played Darth Maul in The Phantom Menace. And that was actually a really cool panel. If you've never seen Ray Park, he's very, very active. And he talked a lot about his martial arts abilities and his weapons abilities, and I thought that was a lot of fun. And then we sat for, I think it was 4.5 hours. We waited in line, and we got to see Mark Hamill. And also James Arnold Taylor, who is a voice actor who did Obi-Wan Kenobi in the Clone Wars. He also had an hour-long thing before Mark Hamill. It was like a double feature thing. We weren't necessarily waiting for his, but I mean, it was an interesting thing until it got to the end where he was like, "You could do anything," and he talks about how he overcame blah blah blah, and I'm like, don't care about this part. Just want to see you do weird voices. Because he's done a lot of voices. He, starting with the second Despicable Me movie, he voices all the Minions. He does the Johnny Test show, which boyfriend and I have watched all of Johnny Test. He's done a lot of voices. So we that was kind of fun to watch him go from voice to voice to voice. And then we got to see Mark Hamill, which was a really fun panel. It was fun to see him talk about what he could talk about. Right. Because they wouldn't let him talk about much. So he basically had to talk about the original trilogy, which we've all seen that interview. But when he talked about the trailer, which I'm sure everybody by now has seen the trailer, and how what I didn't realize with the trailer, and I think it's because I had to watch it on my phone, is that they use the original quote from the original series as the top, and then they use his voice from now saying the exact same thing underneath, so as like the reverb.
I didn't catch the reverb part either. I thought it sounded close to Return of the Jedi, but something was slightly different, and I couldn't place what it was.
Yeah, so what they did, and he talked about it at the panel, was that he had to say the same thing again in the studio as reverb to make it, aged. And he he was like, so I had to fix everything so that I would stop referring to Vader as my father, because I screwed it up like 80 times. And then he talked about him and James Arnold Taylor, because he was the moderator for the panel, talked a lot about voice acting and how, the Joker, and he's one of the characters on the regular show and doing Trickster for Flash, and they talked about that stuff more than they actually talked about Star Wars.
That's because he's allowed to talk about those things, I think.
Yeah, he's not allowed to talk about Star Wars.
Can you imagine what it was like to be on set with him after he was done filming Star Wars when he's doing the Flash? Everyone's probably like, "Hey, what can you tell us?" He's like, "I can't tell you anything."
Nothing.
Nothing. You may know nothing.
Oh, look, Steven says my video audio connection seemed much smoother this week. Yes, I bought a new PC. You missed that announcement. I thought you were showing us Spider-Man's crotch for a second, and that's concerned.
My dog sleeping upside down, exposing himself to everything.
Venus.
Well, that's covered by the desk, thankfully. And yes, I am wearing a Lord of the Rings t-shirt today. Sorry, guys. I'm not a huge fan, but it's punny.
Yeah, punny. I'm just wearing a black shirt today.
And I had pants on. That was proven too, albeit by accident. So sorry, guys.
It's cold down here.
It's cold here too, but I get over it. I'll persevere or something. I don't know.
Will you?
Maybe. So all in all, celebration. You had fun. Just crowds then.
The crowd was a little rough, and it was a lot. It wasn't. So the first celebration I went to was in Orlando, and I was working it, but it was much more chill because it was before anything was announced. So like you just had like the diehard fans there because it wasn't so much about the new movies that are coming out or anything like that. It was just people going to talk about Star Wars, and that was kind of cool. The only thing that they had going was it was Clone Wars season 2.
Back in Orlando.
Yeah, back in Orlando. So now with this one, you had everybody coming out because it was, you got episode 7 coming out this winter. You've got, I mean, there's just so much happening now that everybody's involved. So.
And Star Wars Rebels season 2, because that trailer looked good too.
I still haven't watched that show.
I will be honest. I watched the first few episodes. It didn't hook me. And then the finale came out. And I had them all recorded. Everyone's like, oh my God, the finale's so good. So I skipped everything and went to the finale. And I was like, holy crap. This is awesome. And I'm working my way on catching up through the old ones I missed. The finale sold me on it, what they did in there. I was like, holy crap.
Are they going to put that on Netflix anytime soon?
I would assume they probably would at some point because all the Marvel/Disney stuff tends to end up on Netflix cartoon-wise. And
right.
Clone Wars is on Netflix. So I would say probably closer to season 2 hitting the air, check Netflix and you'll probably be able to find Rebels season 1.
Sweet. By that point, I will be
if anyone knows it better in the chat room, let us know. We'll update and say what you guys might know by chance. Because I'm not 100% sure here.
Yeah, I don't know. So I don't follow when Netflix updates. I'm just kind of my routine is to go into Netflix and then scroll down to recently added and then find new stuff. That is my routine.
Right, same here. I was just happy they added the last season of Sons of Anarchy now, so I can finally get caught up.
Now I might actually watch it.
Oh my God, it's a good show. I just haven't watched the last season yet.
I have seen I've seen parts of 6 and 7. I know what happens at the end of 6 because my sister was watching it and I happened to be in the room, and that was brutal.
Oh yeah, that show is brutal. That and Daredevil, both incredibly brutal.
I was surprised it was on FX. How brutal that was.
You got to remember, The Shield was on FX too, and they did some over the top stuff. I mean, I would say Sons of Anarchy was probably more violent than Daredevil, and Daredevil was pretty dang violent.
Yeah, I really liked Daredevil. I finished it.
I did too. I was a fan. So have you finished Daredevil yet?
Yes.
Okay. I finished last week and it was awesome.
It's just so good. They did like I did have a problem. Wait, should we do a spoiler or no?
Yeah, it's been enough time now. So heads up, folks, we're going to talk a little bit of spoilers on Daredevil now. So if you haven't seen things and you're watching the video, wait for the spoiler tag to go away. And if you're listening to the audio, skip forward probably about 3-4 minutes.
Ding, ding, ding. I did have a problem when they killed the reporter. And I don't know if it was because I'm emotionally attached to that reporter, and I was just like,
It shocked me because Ben Urich is a major player in the Spider-Man comics and things like that. Like, exactly. I can't believe they killed him.
Exactly. He is a huge player, and I was just like, but
the way he went, I mean, it just further made Fisk a badass. You could kind of see him. I don't know. I came to the realization the way that Fisk was played, and I didn't like it at first because he was always seemed to be stuttering through things and stopping and pausing. It made me realize the reason he's taking those pauses is because he's physically having to rein himself in from killing people because he's so angry all the time. And once I made that connection with how he was doing it, that the rage is always at the surface, I was like, holy crap, I get it.
I really, really like how they did Kingpin. I was afraid that they were going to go over the top. Not that oh God, why can't I remember his name?
D'Onofrio or Michael Clark Duncan, who did it in the old movie?
Not that his was over the top or anything like that, but I thought he made a great Kingpin.
I did too.
I was like, well, how are they gonna rein this in, and make it fit this super serious theme? And it was so good. They did such a great job with it, and I really like that they made him a vulnerable character. vulnerable to a point, anyways. But I'm sure we'll still see Wilson Fisk. I don't think
Oh,
that's.
I have no doubt. I mean, they said in the Netflix announcement for season 2, it said Fisk is just the beginning. Season 2 is coming. I'm sure they're going to have him in season 2 at some point.
There is the theory going around that the guy who shot the sniper,
The guy who shot the cop in episode 4 or 5 or whatever it was.
right? That is Bullseye.
Right, I'd seen that same theory too. They've got a lot of ways they can go, and you've also got to remember this is going to get tied in with all the other Netflix series too.
And I think it is tied slightly with the MCU.
Like it is connected to the MCU. They actually made some shout outs to it. Remember, because in the very first episode, when they buy or they start renting their legal offices, they refer to the incident.
Yeah.
As in the Chitauri. So this is a part of the MCU, just like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and things like that. So there's a lot of rumors going around that you might see the Defenders show up in Infinity War Part 2.
Yeah.
Which would be awesome. Be
really cool. So that
I'm going to put the spoiler lid back on things then. So people that are watching video, you'll see the base logo change. You can now come back. We're done with spoilers.
Welcome back. Hooray!
We only did 3 minutes of spoilers, so I was about right.
Yeah. Anyways, Daredevil was really good, and they did a really good job.
I have not met anyone now who does not like Daredevil. They have enjoyed it, and most people I've talked to said, I didn't know if I was going to like it. And they go, no, I was hooked. And I said, that's what happened with me. And I loved it.
I have to still watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I did a mini marathon because I was 3 episodes behind, and my girlfriend and I, we watched the 3 episodes in one night and got caught up, and I was like, damn, this is getting really good again. And what has me really intrigued, and Marvel's come out and said it in ABC, is that this episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. coming up will tie into Age of Ultron. And my guess is it's going to happen at the same time as Age of Ultron.
Yeah, I won't. I'll see it after, and then I'll be like, oh.
Well, and Naki, here's the reason you should watch season 2. It's got Admiral Adama in it.
I do love him.
I do too. Edward James Olmos is a fantastic actor.
And for those of you who don't know this about Chris and I, Battlestar Galactica is how we became friends.
It's how we became internet bros, yo. That's the
internet
term I'm going with.
For life. What?
Yeah. I'm the whitest person you know. I should never say that.
I'm pretty white. Half white. I'm half. So I got that going for me, which is nice.
So why don't we, looking at the time, I know we got to get you out of here on time. Let's roll into our news of the week.
I'm laughing because I said earlier I'm not a fan of going to conventions, but I have to roll out on time today because I'm going to a convention.
I was going to leave that unsaid for you.
I'm going to C2E2, so if you're going to be at C2E2, come find me and say hi.
I have to say I'm pretty jealous because I've been watching everyone's Twitter feeds of people I know that are there and all the cool pictures and things like that. And then I went on twitch.tv. I was watching some stuff on my Xbox. They were actually live streaming the cosplay awards and stuff on Twitch.
Yep.
And then there was the Kevin Smith show there. Yeah, and I was just sitting there, I was like, man, I kind of wish I'd gone this year.
You should have. You might have run into me again. Although I don't have the bright red hair to be bobbing around in, that is what you found me with the first time.
But in all seriousness, though, I'm getting kind of similar to you. Is I don't like the crowd of people. I like getting to go and look around things, but I get tired of the people real fast.
Yeah. I don't like standing in line. Yeah. I don't like the biggest problem that I have, and this is with every convention, it's not just specific to Star Wars or C2E2 or New York Comic Con. People don't know how to walk.
No, and that's what drives me crazy. They walk down the middle of things, or they stop and talk in the middle of an aisle, and you're like, what are you doing? Get out of my way.
Like, we're walking. This is a walking. We're walking. Keep walking. Why are you stopping? Would you stop in the middle of a crowded street to look at your phone? No.
Some people do, and I despise them with all of my heart. All of my heart. So we faked you out. Let's do the news of the week for real this time.
Yeah, for real. More news of the week.
Naki, I'm going to toss to you then.
My news of the week comes with the fact that I am now PC gaming, and I got this really cool news of Telltale Games is teaming up with Marvel, and they are going to have a new series coming in 2017. They don't have a whole lot of details out on it yet. I hope that it comes soon because I'm just
Well,
like,
it's 2017 too, so we've got like 2 years until this game comes out.
yeah. But to me, this is really exciting because I really like Telltale Games. I've been playing Tales of the Borderlands. I have The Walking Dead. I have The Wolf Among Us. Like, I have the only thing I really like I haven't bought yet that I'm still kind of up in the air about is the Game of Thrones one.
I don't watch Game of Thrones, so I don't know any better. I have friends that watch it and love that game. Honestly, most of the friends I have that have played Telltale Games, they love them.
The thing is that I don't know if it's based off book or movie. So
yeah, I don't know either.
I know more of the TV show. I know more of the TV show than I do of the movie or book. I can talk. So I'm hoping that it's off of the TV show, but I actually don't know. That's the only one that I haven't like straight up bought on the first day type thing.
I've only played through The Walking Dead season 1, and I love it. And as I've said on here before, I love it so much that the game made me cry at one point because something terrible happened. And I'm kind of afraid. I love what they do. It's just they get me so emotionally invested. I don't want to get beat up by some of these games again. And I, in all fairness, have not been gaming a ton until recently. So I probably will go back and pick up Tales from the Borderlands. And I have to pick up the Borderlands Handsome Jack collection and things like that, which I know they didn't do. But I'm just saying I'm getting back into Borderlands, folks.
If you are doing Borderlands, you obviously have a gaming partner right here, especially if you're doing it on 360.
Well, here's the thing. I could do it on 360, but the Handsome Collection, as soon as it price drops on the Xbox One, I'm probably going to pick it up on there because I can import all my characters off of my 360 and play.
Yeah, and that's completely legit. Like that was the first feeling that I had to buy a Xbox One was to get the Handsome Collection.
Well, I think you might have that feeling in, what is it, June or July when Arkham Knight comes out?
Yeah, we'll see. I have yet to finish Arkham Asylum.
I was going to say, if it's Arkham Origins, don't worry about it. But if it's Asylum, you should probably finish that. And Arkham City, you should probably finish too.
I have, I was actually just going through my Steam library and downloading stuff. I have Arkham City Game of the Year edition on here.
Nice.
I have Arkham Asylum Game of the Year on my 360. So
I'm going to say something incredibly unpopular is I can't play those games with a keyboard. I think they're better with a controller.
PC Master Race. No, I can't say that because I just bought a PC.
and SP is reiterating in the chat room multiple times the reason to get an Xbox One. I think he's written it about 8-9 times is Halo 5, and I'm not sure if you're really a Halo fan.
I don't play Halo.
Yeah,
I have tried.
Halo 5 for me is going, yes, I must have this, but I can understand people who do not think that.
I have tried to play Halo many times. I actually liked playing it with other people. But it always depended on who I was playing with. So I have tried the online version, and it was basically like going on Call of Duty again, and I was like, no, thank you.
Right, I understand that. So I'm actually going to change my news of the week based off of the news we were just telling here, because everyone knows Naki and I have played some games together in the past. Well, here's some news in regards to another game series we used to play in the past. It has been announced that Microsoft is researching the opportunity to do a Gears of War HD remaster for the Xbox One. So all of the Gears of War games that Naki and I used to play before is coming back.
I think I talked about that.
Did you?
I think a couple weeks ago, yeah.
Came out on the 24th, so
weird. I think I talked about that a couple weeks ago.
Maybe it came back again. It could have been that there was news before and then it came back. I don't know.
But yes, true story. Chris and I used to play Gears of War, and he would watch me die a whole lot, and he laughed.
True story. I laughed a lot. I wish we had Twitch videos of it, because nowadays, if I'm playing online, I'm just going to do Twitch live streaming of it too.
Basically, that's what's going to start happening. Is that you guys can watch me fail miserably, because I play a lot of video games, but I'm still terrible at video games, especially when it comes to platformers. Boyfriend does not stop making fun of me because for some reason I can't jump. Like, no matter what the video game, I can't jump.
No joke, I have the same problem. especially in the Lego games, judging the depth of a jump. I can't do it sometimes. I just fall repeatedly. Like anyone who's watched me play Lego Batman 3 on Twitch has probably seen me jump into holes and just die randomly. And I'm like, ah! And I might curse a little bit.
I am the worst at platforming. It's funny because I play. There are nights where we are slow, so I'll play with the kids at work, and I'll play Mario with them, and then they'll beat me, and they'll be like, "Miss Jessica, you let us win on purpose," and I'm like, "Yes." I am totally not terrible at platformers. I let you win.
So I got a little bit of background on why we thought there might have been a Gears of War story before, because I guess last year or late last year, Phil Spencer, who is the boss over at Xbox, had retweeted a message about something called the Marcus Phoenix Collection, which was fake.
Oh, well, look at that. More fake news that I'm giving onto all of you.
Well, the news itself was fake. He retweeted it, so it was a legitimate story, the fact that the head of Xbox did, but the news wasn't right, and the guys that are running the Gears of War franchise now, which is not Epic Games because it's been sold to Microsoft, it's Black Tusk Studios, I think it is, said there is no such thing as the Marcus Phoenix Collection.
Oh, okay. See, my problem that I might run into with Gears of War now is I hated Judgment.
I never played it.
It's fucking terrible. And I think that because I can't stand that guy. It was based off of fuck, now I can't even think of his name. Not Coltrane, the other one.
Oh, Baird.
Oh, Baird. I hate Baird. I hate him. I never liked him in the series at all. So this is a series following Baird, and I'm playing it, and I'm like, I don't care. I wish he was gone because he's fucking terrible. I hate him.
So looking in the chat room, SP seems a little miffed at your lack of Halo love. Let me quote him. He goes, "Oh my God, no Halo for Naki. You are dead to me now. Dead." He said, "Do me a favor, watch the cutscenes. Let him know what you think." I will say that the story has gotten interesting now, and you don't normally think of story in Halo.
Yeah, see, I've never actually played the story mode, so I can't say that. All I've ever played is multiplayer or online. So I can't actually say I dislike Halo. I just never actually played the storyline of it because the only options I've ever had for it was multiplayer or online.
Right. We've actually been talking about gaming stuff. I'll bring this up now. A game I own is Titanfall. I love it. And I just saw this as I was looking up another news story. If you don't own Titanfall, now's your time to get it because I just saw that at Best Buy, you can buy Titanfall brand new for $8.
Ta-da!
And you get all the DLC for free because Respawn released it all for free late last year. So you get the full game and all the DLC for $8. So go back, buy this game if you haven't played it. It's a multiplayer only game, so I know that does rub some people the wrong way. But it's incredibly fun because it's a mix of FPS action and robot giant mechs destroying things.
Titanfall is a lot of fun. Boyfriend does have an Xbone, so I've played Xbone a little and a lot because we played Just Dance.
Phrasing?
No phrasing. I played Xbone a lot.
Too easy. No comments. No comments.
Sorry. No, I'm getting tired because the second wind is failing me. This is why I drink coffee. I played the Xbone. I played Just Dance on the Xbone, and I played Titanfall, and I played Plants vs. Zombies. And I have told Boyfriend I am stealing his copy of Sunset Overdrive. So
I've heard Sunset Overdrive is really good.
He was obsessed with it.
It's one of those ones I'm waiting for the price to drop on some now. That's my current MO with gaming is since I don't have as much time as I used to, unless it's something I really, really want to play as soon as it comes out, I wait for like the first price drop.
Yeah, there isn't anything like on Xbone or on 360 that I'm like, I need to play this like right now. So it probably won't be until, I don't know, one of the franchises that I follow, like Telltale or...
Right.
Drop something that I'm like, okay, I'll go buy it now.
And I know I wanted to bring this up real quick. We've been plugging Titanfall, saying how much fun it was. I know, Willie, you play on the PS4. He said he's waiting for the sequel on PS4. The current story I've heard is that Titanfall 2 will be multi-platform, so you should be able to play it then.
Yeah, it should be. Yeah, totally.
And I see Andrew Anderson's in the chat room right now. He said, "Wait, what? Really?" I'm assuming that was in regards to the Titanfall for $8 story. I put the link in the chat room for you, so go check that out. There's some information on it.
Or he's mad at me for not liking Halo as well. Not sure.
Oh, could be that. It doesn't really bother me. People don't like Halo. It is what it is.
I mean, it's fun to play when you have a group of people who is really good to play with.
Exactly.
Doing it online just pisses me off so much because it's like playing Call of Duty, and this is why I hate Call of Duty. So, I mean, and I've been told that Halo is not like Call of Duty in the sense that it's not a bag 'em and tag 'em game. So, rip, tag, whatever. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about.
I'll be honest, the reason I have one of the most recent Call of Duty games is because it was probably around Black Friday. They were selling it brand new on Amazon for like $8 or something like that. So I then took it and bought it and played through the single player, never played multiplayer because multiplayer Call of Duty annoys the crap out of me because I don't think it's very well balanced.
Oh, come on. You don't like the 12-year-old screaming that they fucked your mom last night?
Well, there's that too. I generally turn all that stuff off because you know me, I don't like people.
People are terrible.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
That's why we podcast in our rooms, far away from people.
Don't give up the secret.
Also, that we have only met at conventions and never actually. Yeah, I tackled him, and then I found out he's a giant, and it didn't really work.
I'm not a giant.
You are a giant.
I'm not a giant. I'm like 6'3", 6'4", depending on the day.
And I'm 5'4", so.
Well, you're just a pygmy then. You're tiny.
No, you're a giant.
You're tiny.
No. Actually, I'm closer to 5'5" than 5'4".
So how about we roll on another news story, and I'll bring this one up real quick since we have a lot of Marvel movie stuff coming up. I don't know, Naki, have you caught the Star Wars Easter egg that's in all of the Marvel Phase 2 movies so far?
I know the video you're referencing because I saw it while I was at Star Wars Celebration, and realizing it after seeing the video, I laughed because I was like, oh, look at that. Look at that.
So for those that aren't aware, Kevin Feige kind of came out and it was half jokingly, and it's kind of caught on, and said that there is a Star Wars Easter egg in all of the Phase 2 movies because someone loses a hand or an arm in all of these movies. And when I first heard, I was like, no, that's BS. There's no way this is true. And it kind of happened. And just for those that don't remember, everything we've had in Phase 2 so far, they've got a nice little animated GIF collection here on the Business Insider article I'm reading. I'll bring it up for you guys so you guys can see it. In Iron Man 3, Aldrich Killian loses an arm when fighting Iron Man. In Thor: The Dark World, Thor gets Skywalkered, as I put it when I watched the movie. In Loki's Illusion, his hand gets chopped off. Awesome. Captain America: The Winter Soldier, we see Bucky lose his arm in the flashbacks. And then Guardians of the Galaxy, Groot gets an arm chopped off.
He gets both his arms chopped off.
Both chopped off. So I would think it's safe to say that we might be seeing some arms chopped off in Ant-Man and Avengers 2.
Arms going everywhere. Arms going everywhere. Sorry.
I was just letting the song go.
Let the bodies hit the floor.
No, don't sing that. We don't have the rights to it.
I'm less than 5 seconds, so it's fine.
Okay. I didn't want to have to pay for it because...
You pay for it. You're rich.
I'm not rich.
You're rich.
I'm not rich. But before we move on with more news, I completely forgot to share some of the other stuff that's going on in the Gonna Geek Network. As a network, we're trying to share some of the awesome stuff that's being covered. So we have this cool little spreadsheet that I pull up that shows all of the most recent episodes and things like that. So I wanted to let everyone know that episode 55 of the Walking the Walking Dead podcast is out. It is the second episode covering the season finale, where one Stephen Big Papa John brings in Stargate Pioneer, SP, in our chat room to talk about the season 5 finale of the show. If you want to find out what they thought of the crazy finale, go over to GonnaGeekNetwork.com and check out Walking the Walking Dead. There's my plug. Pluggy.
Walking the Walking Dead. So, speaking of which, is Do we have to worry about our president? About Mr. President? Not our president as in the country's president. I'm meaning about our network president.
Are you referring to the Facebook quotes from this morning?
Yes.
Yeah, I have no idea. I'm going to assume he was hacked.
For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, our president of our network, Mr. John Drew, has apparently discovered that he wants to have sex with a zombie. And I'm assuming it's lack of sleep because he does have 2 tiny children, but
it's lack of sleep or a quote from something that I don't know.
I mean, it's not Tina Belcher because somebody thought it was Tina Belcher. And sorry, I know all that girl's lines because obsession with Bob's Burgers right here. Obsession.
Yeah, so if you guys want the full quote and can place where this might be from, that one Stephen Big Papa John Drew posted on the internet, he said, "Just once in my life, I want to have sex with a zombie. Like, seriously, how kinky would it be that there's no chance it would be quiet? Moan." It's got to be a quote from something I'm not catching, is what I'm thinking.
See,
so
to have you say moan like that.
Did you almost spit take?
I did, which would be terrible to do because,
new computer.
New stuff, but...
Yeah, so if any of you guys over in the peanut gallery of our chat room know where that quote might be from, let us know as we try and figure out WTF, mate.
I need coffee before I go to the con today.
Well, evidently SP doesn't know because he says, well, who wouldn't want to have sex with a zombie?
It
Awesome.
sounds squishy.
Yeah, a little bit.
Hi, Andy. Miss you too. Are you not going to be at the con today? Because I'm going to be at the con today, so you won't have to miss me anymore. Ta-da!
So I guess this is one story I didn't want to make news of the week, but we probably should talk about it because it is a big news story. Did you see the new Joker pictures of Jared Leto from the Suicide Squad movie, Naki?
Yes. Yes, I did.
And what did you think of said photos?
I really hope it's a troll.
Yeah.
Like when I watched, I looked at the picture and I was like, yeah, whatever. And then I was like, they did things with Heath Ledger that worked out to its benefit, even though I didn't think that, at the time that I was going to like it. So I'm like, maybe it's just a troll picture. And I walked away. I'm like, yeah, whatever. So then I went back and I looked at it again.
For those that haven't seen it and are watching the video, here's the picture right now.
And I'm really, really hoping it's a promo picture. It doesn't look like it's on the set of anything. I think if it's just a promo picture, not actually what he's going to look like, we're fine.
So I came out immediately after it came out, and I caught crap from a lot of people, and I said, I mega loathe this. I do not like it. And as I took a night to sit on it, I woke up the next morning and I said, you know what? I still don't like most of it. But when the Joker's wearing a suit and things like that, all you're left with is really going to be the face and the hands and stuff. And if you got rid of this dumb damaged tattoo across the forehead, I could live with what that Joker is. It would be a pretty cool take. Like, I don't imagine his teeth are grills, as people have put it. I think they're there because Batman's knocked his effing teeth out, so he's got metal teeth now.
Yeah, like I didn't think anything of the teeth. I thought the only thing that bothered me was the tattoos in which they're references to himself.
They're ridiculous. And the thing that really bothered me after I thought about it is the damaged forehead tattoo, because the Joker doesn't see himself as damaged.
He thinks he's fine.
He thinks he's fine. He thinks the rest of the world is what's messed up, and he wants to bring them to his way of thinking. So that's what really bothered me. I can live with the little J teardrop tattoo under his right eye. That's fine. But I'm going to call it right now. And let me bring up the screen share again real quick. For those that aren't familiar, on the Joker's right arm, he has his own smile tattooed on it. At some point in the movie, he's going to roll up his sleeve, and you're going to see his right arm over his mouth. So it looks like a giant effing smile. I'm going to call it right now.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not seeing the movie. End of story. I mean, I'm not seeing the movie. I hated Man of Steel. Everything that I'm seeing on the trailer looks freaking terrible anyways. So I'm not going to wind up seeing the movie. So everybody is so excited because it's another Batman movie. It's another Superman movie. I don't care. I don't care.
I'm not excited. I'm curious at this point because I really like the way Batfleck looks. The bat suit looks badass.
It does. He does look good. But it's going to be another dark, brooding, serious movie. And I'm over them. I'm just so over them at this point where I'm like, I like my superheroes fun. I like what Marvel's doing. I like going to see movies like Fast 7 because it's so stupid, but it's fun. I don't like going to movies to be serious and upset. And it's a lot of money to go to movies. You know, for people like me who are students and working part-time and don't make a whole lot of money as it is, and everyone's like, "Oh, you spend so much money on your rig." I saved for 3 years to buy this rig. Okay? So I can't get excited for it. I can't see myself spending money to go see a movie that's just going to piss me off. And I'm going to fall asleep in. I fell asleep in Man of Steel.
Yeah, I have my own issues with Man of Steel. Longtime listeners to the show have heard me bitch about them on here on the Gonna Geek podcast. Pretty much everywhere people have asked me to talk about Man of Steel, I've expressed my issues with it. I'll be honest, the Suicide Squad movie, I don't really care about at this point. My interest in the Suicide Squad was re-sparked by Arrow in the fact that they've basically taken them away from Arrow now. I'm a little less interested. Because if you've been watching Arrow, pretty much all the Suicide Squad stuff has gone away.
It's just, I don't care about DC. I mean, and there's a news of the week that we haven't talked about. Is that the DC is doing a new, like, younger girl aimed, or they're aiming it for younger girls. But I mean, it could be for anybody. I don't think it's gender specific.
It's item 10 on the news list.
Yeah, I'm looking at that now. Okay. Where it is basically they're DC females, and they're making them like younger and making them, and Harley Quinn's in there. So I mean, it's Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy are also in it, and it looks like, but this is going to be direct to video, movies, books, clothes, toys. So I mean, they're finally starting to get it that it's not just for males. It's not just, you know. So they're finally so they got that going for them. That is the first thing that they've done that makes me like DC a little bit. But even then, they don't. They have. They very. I mean, there's still points of it. As long as they don't do what Barbie did, I'll be happy, I guess. Because what Barbie did, and everybody was really excited because Barbie was doing this line of career choices, and one of them was computer programmer, and everybody got really excited. And then it turns out that the entire time she's talking about how the boys should help her because she doesn't understand it.
Oof.
Yeah. I took real issue with this.
So Andrew's in the chat room, and he said, so Gotham Sirens then. And if we got more Gotham City Sirens out of this, that would be badass.
Yes. I would be really happy if we got Gotham City Sirens. I would be so excited if we got Gotham City Sirens. But it's actually, there's Wonder Woman, and there's, it looks like there's, I can't think of her name. She was in Young Justice, the girl with the kooky mask.
Oh crap! No, I can't think. Cheshire.
Yeah, it looks like she's going to be in it. It looks like we got Wonder Woman and Supergirl. We got Batgirl. I mean, from everything that I'm seeing, it's not just going to be Gotham City based, which is totally fine by me. But I mean, because there is more to DC than Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman. There is more to DC than that. Anyways. If DC is starting to slowly make the right steps into turning into a company I can finally start to back and not hate, maybe a little bit, because this is the first thing DC has done, you know, other than Arrow and Flash and iZombie. I hate Gotham. You can't get me excited about that show. That is good.
I'm glad you mentioned that you don't like Gotham, because SP, right as you said that, which is funny because they haven't heard you say it yet, had said, I'm not captivated by Gotham on Fox. It's like a chore to watch it, and he's not really looking forward to Batman v Superman either. That's the thing I've been hearing from people about both of them, is that they're not really too gung-ho on it yet. And from a comic fan standpoint, I would love to see people be excited about a Batman v Superman movie because it's great for comic fans, the fact that that's happening. But from what I've seen, I'm just like, meh. And that's how it is in a lot of the DC comic stuff for me too.
I mean, look at the original series of Batman v Superman, or Batman and Superman, just of comic series. It was fun. It was so cool. We got both of our favorite superheroes in one comic book, and they're teaming up to fight justice. Yes, this is amazing. And then we get this for a movie. We get dark and brooding and no fun at all. Like, it should be fun. It should be. We're finally seeing two of our favorite superheroes on screen together. The DC, two of the big three are on screen together. Why shouldn't we? We should be excited.
Technically, all three, because Wonder Woman's in it too.
Well, technically, but she's not headlining it.
Right.
Other rant aside for that. Mirror. But we're getting two of the big three headlining a movie. We should be excited. So what is it that DC can do that would make us excited?
Well,
besides, recoloring it like somebody did. Somebody recolored it, and I'm like, I would watch this movie.
I'm glad you brought that up because I had it saved as a news story, and I'll touch on that in a second. But part of why you have such a different tone in DC, we've talked about it before, so I'm only going to touch on it briefly, I think, is because they want to be different than Marvel, because Marvel got the head start on them. And what is Marvel known for? Their superhero movies, they tend to have an element of humor to them, and they're fun. And there's not this arbitrary, I don't like you, we have to fight thing that happens, really. There's a different tone, and the tone they've decided to go with is to continue what Chris Nolan did on the dark tone. And it makes sense for Batman, we've said that before. Doesn't really make sense as much for Superman. I'm going to take a wait-and-see approach, I guess, because I've been accused of being a hater on many things, and yeah, I am. You guys heard my reaction to the Joker. I hope, as a fanboy, I hope Batman v Superman is good and it lives up to what people want it to be. Is it one I'm going to rush out and see opening weekend? Maybe not.
But we're not the audience, so either.
That's true, and that's another thing we came to realize in our pre-show is we're not the target audience for some of these movies anymore because we're old.
We're old. We're not young with money. And we're not the kids. We don't rush out and buy toys right off the shelf. Well, some people do. I don't.
Still buy toys right off the shelf.
I can't.
Yeah.
Your wall is shining achievement of that, but
yeah, I'll make a video sometime for people to see down here. It's pretty great.
I don't have the space for it. I currently am rigged up in the basement.
Yeah, I hear you there. So Naki had brought up a point about the Man of Steel movie having the restored color back in it. I won't play the video, but for those watching live, there's a story on Polygon where they've embedded the video of what if it was in color. And you get a nice shot of Henry Cavill flying as Superman and the comparison between them. The bottom shot with the restored color, that's the Superman that I always think of, not the darker colors. He's supposed to be a beacon of hope, and I really like the way that looks. I'm not trying to criticize and be hating. Just an observation.
It's you can call me a hater all you want. I don't care. The thing that bothered me a lot with watching this teaser footage is that they're making Superman to be out the bad guy, and I guess after Man of Steel he kind of is the bad guy. He does destroy the city, but it was just so. I'm like, Superman's the big blue Boy Scout. Like, why would you turn him into something like that?
It's very much influenced by Frank Miller, Dark Knight Returns, where Superman's kind of portrayed as the tool of the government and a bad guy. They took a lot of that tone of Superman.
Oh, yeah, I guess that makes sense. It's been a while since I read The Dark Knight Returns, but yeah, that makes sense. But
there's a reason I brought that up, right?
There is. You should do it. Do it.
Yes, it was a nice organic segue. Frank Miller's coming back to do The Dark Knight Part 3, calling it The Master Race. I don't care. I've realized. I love The Dark Knight Returns.
The second
great comic series.
What was The Dark Knight?
Dark Knight Strikes Again is utter garbage. It took everything I loved about The Dark Knight Returns, and it was just not good.
It was terrible. It was so bad. And I'm hoping, well, like what he did for that one is basically it was a paycheck. He was like, "Oh, people really liked it, and I made a lot of money. I guess I'll write another one." And that's what happened. That's what we got.
Right. So the only thing that has me really kind of intrigued on this is that Frank Miller is collaborating with Brian Azzarello, and Brian Azzarello is fantastic. His one-shot
Yes.
book he wrote about the Joker is delightfully twisted and weird. I loved it.
Is that the one where he comes out of the asylum and it's basically told from one of his hitmen?
Yes, and it is. I love that. And Azzarello, I think, is a fantastic storyteller. So I'm really curious to see how he plays into this story that Frank Miller. My assumption is Frank Miller is probably giving him the big outline of how he wants to go, and Azzarello is doing the cleanup. I don't know that for a fact.
I hope that it's good. I really do, because Dark Knight Strikes Again is really good.
Dark Knight Returns, you mean?
Or Dark Knight Returns, not Dark Knight.
Yeah, Strikes Again, not a big fan of. And it was also announced that Frank Miller will not be illustrating this series. They have not announced any of the illustrators for this, but I'm morbidly curious to see where it goes. But if it's the tone of the Dark Knight Strikes Again versus the Dark Knight, that's the best way to put it.
Yeah.
Is that valid?
Yeah. I'm timid. It's exciting, but I'm timid.
That's the best way of putting it. I'm going to touch on one more news story and we'll wrap things up. Let's go with
Kittens in a Blender.
Kittens? No, I don't want to put Kittens in a Blender.
Why not? Kittens in a Blender is a great show.
So you talked about earlier how you like to go into a movie and enjoy it, like Fast and the Furious 7, things like that. Well, it came out yesterday. Fast and the Furious 8 release date was announced for April 14th, 2017.
Me excited. Because I like these movies. I do. The only one I didn't like was number 2. That one was pretty terrible.
Yeah, number 2 and number 3 were the ones that aren't really my favorites. But
I like Tokyo Drift.
And basically, Fast and the Furious are their new superhero movies. These guys are superheroes now. If you saw Furious 7, like they crash 2 cars into each other head on and then have a fight with wrenches and don't come out with any hurts, with any injuries, excuse me.
Like, they're just like, oh, it hurt. Oh, I'm okay.
Yeah. The only things we know about Furious 8 so far is the release date and that Vin Diesel has previously teased that it will take place in New York City and Kurt Russell's character, Mr. Nobody, will be returning.
Nice. I really liked Fast 7. Like I said, I just like these movies because they're fun and they're stupid, but they're fun. Like, I dragged Boyfriend because he doesn't like these movies. We were actually going to go see Home, which is the DreamWorks latest release that they didn't advertise at all, and that's really, really, really disappointing because I was really looking forward to it.
Yeah, that surprised me they didn't.
It was really disappointing, their lack of advertising campaign on that show, or on that movie. Anyways, so we went and saw Furious 7, and the entire time, Boyfriend is cracking up because, Vin Diesel and his range of acting in that movie is just amazing.
Yeah, it is. And if you saw the Rock's parody one, they did on his SNL, they nailed Vin Diesel on that one.
They nailed Vin Diesel of his 2 looks of,
I got family.
Oh God, it's so bad, but it's so good.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's your modern '80s action movie. I think it's Wing that put it that way. I think on Legends he put it that way. I might be miscrediting, so I apologize if I did. But it is the modern '80s action film. You go in, you just have fun. It's over the top and ridiculous, but who cares? Speaking
of modern '80s movies, Mad Max Fury Road. Anybody? So want to see this movie. I'm really excited. Like, I'm just like, this looks so good. And Boyfriend is just sitting there like, why?
That's about my take on it. So, looking at the clock now, we do need to start wrapping things up because Naki's got to go out the door in 7 minutes. I did want to say real quick, if you're curious about Avengers 2, there's a bunch of spoiler-free reviews out there because it is already out in Europe.
It's already in Australia, too.
It has made bank so far, so I would assume that next weekend is going to make a ton of money in North America. And I just want to give a heads up to our listeners/watchers on ATGN. Next week, we will not be going into a spoiler-based review of the Avengers 2. We'll continue our trend of trying to wait a week before we spoil movies so that our watchers/viewers/listeners are not spoiled by us. So if you want spoiler-free reviews of Avengers, come back next week. If you want the spoilers and in-depth detail, come back 2 weeks from now where we spoil the crap out of it.
I will probably be seeing it on Sunday after the show. So, because all next weekend I'm kind of crazy.
So that's your heads up there, folks, is we will not be spoiling it. Spoiler-free review only next week. So basically that means our general impressions, and I will probably still be fanboying out, so I won't be able to put good words to it.
He'll be doing this.
Yeah, that's basically what it comes down to. That's what's going to be happening. I'm going to come out of that movie and be like, and then get back in line for a second showing.
Yep, basically. Yeah.
And SP has pointed out Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. will do a spoiler-full live podcast Sunday afternoon. So if you want to be spoiled on Avengers 2 and you want an in-depth review of it, go check out Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. on Sunday at GonnaGeek.com/live. He'll let us know the time. Or just go to Gonna Geek and check out the time there, and they'll spoil the crap out of it. So
we have a calendar.
We do. So to wrap things up, we got 5 minutes. Naki, what are you been getting into? What are you getting into?
Oh my God, you guys. So a couple weeks ago, we had Ryan on, and we were talking about Steven Universe. And I went and I got all of it on Amazon Prime, and I have watched. Well, screw you too.
Yeah, evidently your dog did not like it. He is not a fan.
He does not like Steven Universe, but he does like The Flash. Every time I put on The Flash, he's up on my bed and he's watching it with me. It's super weird. But he doesn't like Arrow. He likes The Flash, but he does not like Arrow. I watched almost all of Steven Universe now, and now I've got Boyfriend watching it. And my next not cosplay, because I don't really cosplay anymore, but I think I might actually do it, is Amethyst from Steven Universe. So basically I'm going to dye myself purple and put a large gem in my chest and be like, this is me. Hooray.
You're the purple Tony Stark.
Basically. Ryan has asked me to do Peridot, so I might have 2 Steven Universe cosplays coming. On top of that, I've finished the next book in the Terry Pratchett trilogy or series of the witches, and I bought a computer, and now I am going to be gaming a lot on it. And it's by computer, I mean it's a full-on desktop rig. I have not actually bought another laptop this time, so I actually have a rig that I can upgrade and add new stuff to, and everything is going to be awesome or terrible. Who knows how this is going to roll. Oh, and I was in California last weekend, and I had fun. Yeah.
So I got 3 minutes to talk before we got to let Naki off, and I have not gotten into too much. I did a mini marathon of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., like I said, got caught up on that. I'm caught up on Flash, Arrow, things like that. I have been watching, or let me say rewatching, Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes on Netflix. That is my current cartoon I put on in the kitchen while I'm cooking dinner, and I forgot how much I loved that show. And if you go back in the catalog to some episodes, and like around episode 50 or so, you can probably hear me gush over that show, how much I loved it and how much it was a shame it got canceled. This kind of brings back all of those old feelings. I wish it hadn't been canceled. I know it sort of continues with Avengers Assemble, but it doesn't have quite the same feel to it. I guess the last thing I've been getting into, well, 2 things. I've been going to a lot of college baseball games because it's like 10 minutes down the street and it's fun entertainment. And on Friday evening, on my way to one of those games, I stopped at Best Buy, price challenged using Walmart's price, and got Lego Batman 3 for $30 over at Best Buy. And I've been playing that. It has been really fun. And I've actually started playing with the Twitch integration on my Xbox One again. And I was live streaming it last night, and there were actually people watching, and it was a fun conversation to have with people as they watched me get stuck by some dumb puzzle I couldn't figure out. But I felt good because the chat room couldn't figure it out either.
Yay!
So if you guys want to watch any of my live streams on Twitch, I am Spidey616 on there. It's the same as my Xbox Live gamer tag, so if you have Xbox Live, you can hit me up on there too. And let's be Xbox bros.
Xbox bros.
Xbox bros for life.
I am also of the Xbox community and Steam. I guess it's all on the same. But I am
have the same Steam name too.
I am Bakanaki, Bakanaki. You can find me on Steam or Xbox, I guess not.
Yeah, I was upset that I couldn't get my Spidey616 gamer tag when I had a PlayStation because someone else had already taken it. So sadly, that was not me on Xbox, on a PlayStation rather. But on Xbox and Steam, You can find me at Spidey616. And I don't know if Willie's going to be doing it, but I know Willie normally live streams on Twitch after the show. If you want to watch some of his live streams, go to twitch.tv/SouthPorky and have fun with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, team. Go team.
Go team venture. And I have about 30 seconds until I have to let Naki go. So do you have any last thoughts for us, Naki?
If you're at C2E2 today, you can hit me up, find me, do all that stuff.
Yeah, do all that stuff. And we will be back next week live with an all-new show. But if you want to get a hold of us in the meantime, you can hit us up on the social medias. Go to facebook.com/allthingsgoodandnerdy. Twitter, where we can be found at ATGN Podcast. You can call us on our voicemail, the ATGN hotline at 304-806-ATGN. And if you want to email us, because that's your method you prefer to get in contact with us, I have not fixed our email address, but one Steven John Drew has happily made one for us. It is atgnpodcast@gonnageek.com. You can hit us up there.
We're everywhere.
We are everywhere on the interwebs for you. And don't forget, we stream live every Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern over at live.atgnpodcast.com or gonnageek.com/live. We're making it easy for you to find us. And I'm going to ask a favor of all of you guys that are listening or watching right now. If you get a chance and you have iTunes, go on iTunes and give us a review. We need iTunes reviews, people.
Nice,
so
nice reviews. Be nice.
Please give us reviews. We heart you forever.
People don't like me.
It's okay.
I'm so sad.
Naki's very sad. But don't worry, guys. We'll be back next week. We're going to talk a little bit about Avengers. And until then, adios, amigos.